Okay, you know the feeling, right? Your heart starts pounding, your palms get sweaty, your mind just goes blank. We've all been there. But what if I told you the big secret isn't to calm down? Actually, it's something else entirely. In this explainer, we're going to unpack some really cool, science-backed tools to turn that fear of public speaking into real, genuine confidence. So, let's dive right in.
So get this, 75%. That's the number. If you get nervous before speaking in public, you're not just in good company. You're in the vast majority. We're talking 3 out of every 4 people feel that exact same way. So let's be clear. That feeling, it's not a weakness. Not at all. It's a completely normal, totally human thing to experience.
You know, this fear is so common, it actually has a clinical name: glossophobia. Sounds serious, right? But naming it is actually really important because it proves what you're feeling isn't some personal failing. It's a real physiological response. And that's the key here. The goal isn't to get rid of that energy. It's to learn how to use it.
All right, and here's where things get really interesting. The advice we always hear is just calm down, take a deep breath. But what if that's completely wrong? What if fighting that nervous energy is exactly why it feels so powerful and so overwhelming? Let's explore a strategy that might sound a little backward at first, but trust me, it's way more effective. So our first big idea is all about the surprising mindset shift, turning those nerves into excitement. And look, this isn't just some fluffy positive thinking stuff. Nope. This is a scientifically proven technique that can literally change how you feel when you're up on that stage.
Okay, so check this out. When you look at what's happening inside your body, anxiety and excitement are, well, they're pretty much identical. Research from places like Harvard shows that both of them give you the exact same physical signals. Your heart races, you get that rush of adrenaline, your breathing gets faster. The only real difference? It's the label you put on it. It's the story you tell yourself about what those feelings actually mean.
So here's the hack. It's so simple. You just change the story. Instead of trying to fight all that energy, you redirect it. You channel it. Right before you walk on stage, literally say this out loud. I'm serious, say it. I'm excited. Just by relabeling that nervous energy, you're turning it from something that feels like a threat into rocket fuel for an awesome, passionate performance.
Okay, so that positive mindset, that's your launch pad. But real, unshakable confidence, that comes from knowing you have a solid message. It all comes down to preparation. Because when you know your material inside and out, you get rid of that terrifying fear of your mind going blank. And that, right there, is the root of so much of this anxiety.
And as you're preparing that message, there is one magic number I want you to burn into your brain, and that number is 3. It's weird, but our brains are just hardwired to look for patterns, and for some reason, things that come in 3s are just way more memorable, more satisfying. It's one of the oldest and most powerful tricks in the book.
So here's a super simple 4-step process that puts that rule into action. First, just brainstorm. Get all your ideas out there, no judgment. Then, and this part is absolutely crucial, you've got to boil it all down to one single core message. What's the one thing you really want them to remember? From there, you pick your 3 strongest supporting points to back up that main idea. And finally, you organize those 3 points into a logical, persuasive story. This structure, it's your safety net. It means you'll never get lost. You'll always know exactly where you're going next.
All right, your message is locked and loaded. Now, let's talk about how you deliver it. Because, believe it or not, your audience is reading your body language way before you even open your mouth. Getting these nonverbal cues right is absolutely key for projecting confidence and, actually connecting with people. So let's break down the 3 big pillars of confident body language. First up, your stance. You want to plant your feet about shoulder-width apart. This gives you this really stable, grounded base that just screams, I'm in control. Second, your gestures. You want to keep your hand movements natural inside what we call the gesture box, basically the space from your shoulders down to your waist. This looks confident and purposeful, not distracting. And finally, eye contact. This is a big one. Don't just scan the room like a robot. Actually connect with one person for a full thought, like for 3 to 5 seconds, and then move on to someone else. That's how you create real one-on-one connections. Okay, body language is sorted. Now let's talk about your most powerful tool of all, your voice. I mean, think about it. A flat, monotone delivery will put anyone to sleep, right? But a dynamic voice, that'll have them hanging on your every word. So let's break down the 4 things you can control to make your voice totally compelling.
First on the list is pace. You have to vary your speaking speed. You can talk a little faster when you're covering some of the background details, but when you get to a really, really important point, you slow right down. It's that contrast that creates a rhythm and really pulls people in.
Next up, the pause. Seriously, don't be afraid of a little silence. It's not your enemy, it's probably your most powerful tool. A good pause, it adds weight. It gives people a second to let your ideas sink in. And honestly, it signals total confidence. Then we've got volume. It's all about contrast here too. You can bring your voice down, almost to a whisper, to draw everyone in for a really crucial point. And then you can raise your voice to show that passion and really drive your message home. That dynamic range is what keeps the energy in the room electric. And last but not least, pitch. Think of this as the music in your voice. Going up and down in pitch, the highs and the lows, that's how you communicate emotion. A flat pitch just sounds, well, bored. But a varied pitch sounds passionate, engaged, and trust me, that kind of energy is totally contagious.
So why bother mastering all this stuff? Is it just about giving a good speech? Not even close. Get this. Research shows that effective communicators are 50% more likely to get promoted. 50! Mastering these skills isn't just about feeling more confident. It is a direct, hands-on investment in your career. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the big takeaways. First, reframe that anxiety, turn it into excitement. Second, build your message on that powerful rule of 3. Third, use your body and your voice with real purpose to own the stage. And finally, put it all together to create a real, authentic connection with your audience.
And remember, at the end of the day, public speaking isn't about being perfect. Nobody is. It's about connection. It's about sharing something that you genuinely believe in. With these tools, you're not just managing fear anymore. You're taking that energy and turning it into power. So my final question for you is this. What's the message you're now excited to go out and share with the world?